Once again, please give it up for the low brass section and Professor Joseph Alvarez.
Good afternoon. My name is is Matthew McCutcheon. I'm USF's Director of Bands, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the third and final concert this afternoon. I have one quick request before we start. If you don't mind pulling out your cell phones and putting them on airplane mode. And it's not because we're trying to keep you off your phone, it's because it interferes with the Wi-Fi and so the live stream. So it would help us a lot if you don't mind either cutting it off or putting it on airplane mode. There are several people that I need to thank for making this festival possible, and I'll go through this as quickly as I can, but they're all really important. The Dean of our college is Chris Garvin. The Director of the School of Music is David Williams, who have been supportive of this from day one. In the back, running sound and lights and everything is Lee Wiltshire and Jace Berticelli. They are in charge of this room, this space particularly, which has been in constant use since Thursday afternoon. And this is a beautiful hall. We love our hall. They take incredibly good care of it. And so we appreciate all that they do to make this possible. Our USF faculty, School of Music faculty, has given master classes and lessons in chamber choirs and just been really deeply involved, and none of this would happen without them. You didn't know that you saw her, but you saw Arupa Gopal Campbell out there, who's been the lead administrator. You've probably gotten some emails from her and heard from her. She's terrific. We've had 50 to 60 of our undergraduate students who have moved chairs and stands and served food and just taken care of all the behind-the-scenes things. None of this would work. It just wouldn't happen without them. We have 8 counselors who are really probably most of them asleep at this point in time because they were up overnight working in the hotel. We have 3 graduate students. I'm going to slow down just a little bit here now. Back in the back, Jamie's on the way to airport taking one of the clinicians. Daniel Greenwood, who's in the back here, still working on logistics, and Alain Rodriguez. They started working months ago on this project. And I don't know if you know anything about how this works, but if you don't have grad students, none of this works. So thank you to the 3 of you. You're terrific. Love working with you and appreciate you more than you can imagine. There are 3 band directors here. Devin Didon, it was the person who was in charge of the hotel. She's not here because last night her 3-year-old got hungry and ate some coins. So he's fine, but she's a mom. So she mothered your kids over the weekend, and now she's at home taking care of her own. We really do think she's fine, but she wanted to be there as she should. She's wonderful in all sorts of things. And sitting here is our Associate Director of Bands, Trevor Butts, who just kind of makes life fun. I don't even want him to know that, so don't tell him, but he's kind of fun to work with. So we have a terrific staff and students, and it's just so many pieces of the puzzle, and I'm grateful to all of them for making this work. So now, please, a round of applause for everybody. At the end of the performance, your students will meet you out in the lobby. Just check with them 3 or 4 times to make sure they take home everything they brought. In particular, wire stands. We usually end up with about 30 of those at the end of the festival. We don't need them, so we've also had instruments left and all sorts of things. So check with them, take them home, feed them well, love on them, but meet them out in the end, and we'll move that as quickly as we can. We have had a wonderful, wonderful weekend of concerts and master classes, and they've seen everything from jazz to classical to rap, literally, to songwriting, and we're really proud of our program at USF and all the things we offer, and we're growing and adapting all the time, and we think we had a good display this weekend of what we do, but the most important part of this weekend is them, and I will tell you that they have been terrific. They are funny, they are engaging. They're tired. I guarantee you they're tired because they've worked really, really hard. But we hear all the time about everything that's wrong with our education system and our youth and everything that we're dealing with. And I'm just going to say that I think that sitting on the stage in front of you is a representation of everything that's right about our education system and our youth and the people. So they are wonderful, wonderful, have been great, and thank you for letting them participate in this event. The conductor, last thing, our conductor, when I set out to design these festivals, it's really important to me that I bring in world-class directors and teachers to work with them. And their conductor I have been wanting to bring in ever since I've been here, because he was my teacher. And so my senior, when I went to Furman University in Greenville, South Carolina, and my senior year, right before my senior year, the band director left. And we all thought, like we always do, oh, it's never, we're in trouble, it's gonna blah, blah, blah. And I was the student representative on the search committee for the new director. And Les Hicken walked through the door, and we talked to him in about 5 minutes. I thought, this is the guy. This is the person I want to learn from. This is the person that will take this program to the next level. And even though I was only there for a year, actually a semester because I was interning, he has been so influential to me and throughout my career. He is a masterful teacher, a brilliant musician, and what I wish was that I had a recording of their first session on Thursday night to play for you, because you would not believe how far they've come in just so few days. Would you please welcome the former director of bands at Furman University, Dr. Les Hicken.
Thank you all very much. I certainly appreciate you being here today, bringing your children, bringing your students to work with us for the last 3 days. We've had a wonderful time. Obviously, they've worked very hard. That's not an easy piece they just played. I'm very proud of what they just did. That piece was Fanfare and Allegro by Clifton Williams. Clifton Williams was an American composer in the early part of the, in the 50s and 60s. And this piece was the first piece awarded the Oswald Composition Prize from the American Bandmasters Association. That association picks one piece every year, and it's been doing that since 1954 when this piece was selected. So this is the first piece actually given that prize. We're going to continue with our program. I have a couple pieces from composers from South Carolina. Dan Forrest has written a lot of choral music. And this particular piece started out as a choral piece. It was written, there's a sad story with this. His brother and his wife were going to have a baby from Ethiopia. But they just before they came, the baby was ready to come over. He got sick and passed away. So Dan decided to write this for his brother and his sister. And he took a quote from Mark Twain, who suffered the same tragedy when his younger sister died. And on her tombstone, it's written, "Good night, dear heart." South Carolina composer, a friend, and someone I actually worked with at the South Carolina Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities. He's the president, Cedric Adderley. But prior to becoming president there, he has a distinguished career as an educator and as a composer. This particular piece has a little bit of a linkage to Florida. In 1998, he was commissioned by Gary Green from the University of Miami to write this piece. And it's called Indigo Run, and it reflects his impression of a community down on what we call the low country in South Carolina near Hilton Head. It's a community called Indigo Run, and it shows kind of the different aspects of the community. I think you'll enjoy this. This is Cedric Adderley's Indigo Run. before we play our last selection, I want to thank, first I want to thank the parents for encouraging your students to learn about music, become a musician, to be part of the band program. That's shows such faith in them, and it's just really wonderful to watch. I also want to thank the band directors. This is a really talented group and well-trained. I thought we got to a very high level of music making, and that couldn't have done that without the great teaching abilities of their teachers. So give both students, give the parents and the teachers a big round of applause. And I do want to publicly thank the students who, right from the get-go, they were serious about learning, and they were serious about making music, and that's really all I asked for. And I just had a wonderful couple of days, so I wanted to thank them. Give them another big round of applause. There's lots of people who helped me this week, and I want to publicly thank them. My grad assistant, who was there for every minute of rehearsal, was Daniel Greenwood. Our percussion GA was Jarek Vaught. Alain Rodriguez he picked us up at the airport, and he drove us around, took us out to eat. So did Devin DeDon, the assistant band director, and I also wanted to thank Trevor Butts for taking us to this marvelous restaurant he took us on Friday night. But thanks for your support. And finally, I want to thank Dr. McCutcheon for inviting me to come and spend a week with these fine students. You are extremely fortunate to have someone of his caliber and his basic kindness and his goodwill. He does a fabulous job. I'm very proud of him, and thanks again. Give him a big hand. So it's hard to go to a band concert without a march. Henry Fillmore, I did not know about Henry Fillmore's, I started my career at West Point, and I played in the band there after I graduated from undergraduate school. And we played all kinds of marches, but I didn't recall that we did as many Fillmore marches. I started my college career teaching at Youngstown State in Ohio, and the Ohio directors were just mad about Henry Fillmore. So I got to learn and his marches are just lots of fun. This particular one, he had a professional band in the late 20s and the early 30s, and they were always hired to go out and play at trade shows. So this particular trade show, he was going to play for the Cincinnati Automobile Show, and he wrote this march, the Klaxon. Now, if any of you know those early automobiles, the Klaxon is the horn that you said. So this march is based on that part of the automobile. Thanks again for being a wonderful audience. I hope you enjoyed this, and it was a real pleasure for me to be here. Thank you, Matt.